Hey, everybody, welcome. We are on another episode of Florida Lifestyler Podcast, and I'm your host, James Wright. And today we are in here with Jess coming all the way from Texas. He's traveled all the way through the cyber web and came to show you guys in Florida and across the whole world his lifestyle journey, and we hopes this help you on your journey and give you some guidance and tips on how to maneuver through your way. Hey Jess, how you doing today?
Brother, it's Manic Monday, man. Just that we're one day down and four more to go to the weekend.
Yeah. You got to get everything in line
Oh
and,
yeah,
and all that stuff. Yeah, I know I'm a father and a husband myself, so I understand how. Yeah,
my father. So yeah,
yeah, busy
gotta
life.
do it. Crazy
So,
expensive.
so how you doing over there in Texas today? How's the weather? How's everything going?
Man, it was actually today. Uh, when I was driving, man, running errands, I looked at the car. The temperature's reading, I think 102.
Oh, okay. Is
So
it is
been
that a
getting some
humid
serious
heat
Texas
or is
heat.
that a dry heat?
It was. I want to say for the first time it was like mid, because
Okay.
humidity, I can possibly deal with, and dry heat I've dealt with that before too, when I was in Afghanistan. But um, it was just hot today. Like how can I put it? Wasn't too bad. Wasn't like cool. It was one of those things where you feel the heat, and we getting ready to roll into well, we are in August, so yeah, August down south is a different story. I know the
Right.
Florida humidity is something else, man. And I grew up my whole life, born and raised in Louisiana, stationed in North Carolina, Camp Lejeune area. Then now living in Houston, Texas. I visited Florida a few times. I've visited Vegas, so I'm comfortable with the heat. But these climates have different type of heats, man.
Yeah, they do. Right now we're witnessing a lot of rain with our summertime, which is great because I like it all. I like the whole Florida thing that it brings to me. I've been born and raised here, so Florida baby.
Florida,
So
man. I would say a special relationship with Florida, but it's like, man, every time you turn on the news, something crazy happened. It starts off with Florida. I'm like, come on, man. Like Florida, man. Come on, man. Florida.
it's just media. That's why I created this media to change the stigma.
There you go, brother. Thank you.
Now, when it comes to your lifestyle journey, how did you get into the lifestyle? What made you curious about starting this type of life and choosing this way?
You want the truth?
Yeah, it can help others. The truth will be great because it will help others.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The very first time I got involved in lifestyle type party, I don't want to say I was suckered into going, but I was in North Carolina, brother. And I remember I was in a grocery store one day, and I just so happened to be, I think I was on the barbecue aisle. White couple was there. She's like, oh, they was like, started talking to me. You like to barbecue? I was like, yeah, I like to barbecue. Say Louisiana boy, I like my cooking. And and I was like, well, a couple of guys at the barracks, we just gonna throw something on the grill. I was like, oh, that's cool. Well, we're actually having a party tonight. Blah blah blah. You should come through. I go through to this party, and when I get to, and this is North Carolina, like 12 plus years ago. I go there and I realize it's me and like three brothers there and about six white couples. And I'm like, hold up, bro. I was like, are they having us over for dinner or we are dinner? And I was like, this is this got weird for a second because we was looking at each other like, wait a minute, man, ain't nobody else here. I don't smell nothing cooking like, and not even no potato salad. I like, wait a minute, I came here for a barbecue. But nah, man, that was like that's my first introduction into the lifestyle because you know meat was on the menu, but we that's it was us.
It was
So
the
yeah,
spit roast.
yeah. Started happening that way, man. So it was like we came here just for a barbecue, but nah, man, those ladies had an appetite.
So that's interesting. That's a real interesting concept on how you got into it because a
Mhm.
lot of people they ask that question like, will people see you in public? Do people interact with you in public? And you actually ran into that situation.
Yeah, it
What's
was
your
at
first
random, and like I
experience
said,
too?
yeah, it was random, and that was my first introduction to it. And then years later, years like I said, about 12 years later, man, like I said, people started seeing me online, and
Okay.
I was invited to a party one time when I was with a content creator. They were lifestyle and content creators, and we left a content house and um was invited to a party there. And when you go to these lifestyle parties, you start to network with people. It's not always about the physical part about it. You actually meet some really cool people, develop some positive, good vibes, and you start networking and making connections. And I started
Correct.
making connections and networking and becoming very good friends with people. And that's when I started getting invited to different parties because the word gets out like, man, Jess is a cool dude, cool vibes, man. He's not forceful, and he's just positive energy, which I try to bring to any place I go. And I want people to understand one thing, especially the fellas. Consent is everything, and you have to respect people's boundaries. Um, Going to these, type of events is not a guaranteed yes. It doesn't happen that way all the time.
Right, right. It's not just like a free fall, jump your hands where you think
Right.
you can just because somebody might not be comfortable with the way that you're approaching them. You don't know what people are going through.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And people personas, so you got to be very timid, and you don't know what people been through in past with the way they approach with things. So you got to be very consentful, like you said.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, and I get that. I tell fellas that a lot, man. It's just be respectful, man. Act like you've been somewhere before. Consent is king. Respect people's boundaries. You don't want them to respect your boundaries. Act like you got some damn sense, as they would say back in
Right.
the day. There have been people that uh, one play partner in particular, like I met her about a year ago, and the first time I came across her, it was a no. And I think the reason was she was getting ready to leave, or I was standing around. Always just a no. And then flash forward back in February, this past February, we had our first interaction, and man, ever since then we text and talk to each other daily on the phone and like actually have a human connection.
Right. Right. The connections in
Yeah,
this lifestyle is very great.
yeah, one of my
Especially,
peoples, huh, man? She's one of my peoples.
yeah, yeah. And it gives you a spot to really relate to people, you know what I'm saying? And on a deeper level, because this is an intimate level that we are on. So it gives people a great way to connect on a deeper level when you become friends with them.
No, 100%. And through talking to her, when we first connected, found out that we were both born in the same hometown.
Wow.
Her, exact same city. That's where she was born. She's older than I am, and then I found out that we found out we were born in the same city. It's just that her parents moved here to Houston. I grew up, born and raised there, joined the military, and now I'm here in Houston. So yeah, it's just a connection, like I said, and it ain't even got to be that. Her and I have gone out on dates where there was no physicality involved. We just chilling. So
Right.
it happens. And I also want to say this with the lifestyle. Honesty is also key. I ain't got to
Right.
lie. I'm 38 years old. I love telling the truth. I ain't got time to lie. You know,
Yeah.
so honesty is key, man.
Yeah, I love that. No, that's good that you pinpointed that. And that goes in relationship, single, or anything, because that's really what we got into an open lifestyle for. Keyword
Of course,
open. So the door ain't closed, so we could just be honest with each other, tell everything up front, especially couples. You couples, y'all, honesty is very important within you couples to be transparent within this. You know what I'm saying?
100%. You know
I'm
how
very
many people,
transparent.
you know how many couples I have came across that to where they're married, but they each have their own individual boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right.
Everybody know about it and everybody cool. I met couple of weeks ago, going to an event. to where this couple, she had a husband, but she also had a boyfriend right there.
Right.
I've seen it happen. I've seen
Right.
it
And
happen
that's
to
all
where,
because of
yeah,
the honesty and transparency that they develop with each other. And that is cool because I'm like that. I'm a real open guy. Me and my wife been in a lifestyle for 15 years. So I'm to a point now being in a 20-year, 21-year relationship. I'm to the point I'm like, yeah, we could have partners. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? You could have a boyfriend. I could have a girlfriend, but everything, like you said, gotta be open. There can't
yeah,
be
of
no.
course,
Like I told her, there can't be no. If I have a girlfriend, there's gonna be a us with the equation.
of
You
course,
know, there's not gonna. Y'all can have, like I told her, if you have a boyfriend, y'all can have y'all time, and y'all could. I'm not for the police, y'all. Y'all can have y'all time talk, but when it comes to like certain interactions, it's a us thing. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, and a lot of people get weirded out like that, especially sometimes the fellas, because sometimes the fellas have this thing to where they want to police the body of a woman, and you can't do that, homie. You know,
right,
um, like you
you
can't,
better go get you some money.
yeah, and and even then, I have not met most lifestyle couples that I have interacted with are very well off, or they're comfortable, and everybody's just chilling. You know, I have seen couples as to where she did 20, 30 years in the medical industry. He's done 20, 30 years in architecture, whatever the hell else. And like they could individually go their separate ways and daggum sustain, but it's a connection they have with each other that keeps them there and the open and honesty. Um, and what I meant by fellas gotta, realize they can't police the body of a woman, man. You can't have one-sided openness as to where you and your lady decide we're going to venture out on this, but I can have a girlfriend, but you can't have no guy, but you got to bring girls to me. It doesn't work that way. It's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go.
No, it's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. It's gonna look the way it looks in front of your face. But
Mhm. It's gonna go south real quick.
yeah, because it gotta be unless she's like totally that. But other than that, if you're forcing it like that, like you said,
Of
forcing
course.
yourself in a situation, no, it can't be that, man, because it gotta be a transparency and a 50-50 thing when it comes to that. What I could do, you could do too.
No, yeah, 100%, brother. And what else I'm looking for? A lot of people, let me ask, sometimes guys, like I said, man, they get in the idea of this is my opportunity to collect women like Dragon Balls or the Infinity Stones, man. It doesn't.
Yeah.
I go to parties and I get told no, I'm not feeling it. Then they got some times to where, yeah, it's okay, Jess, let's do the damn thing. Um, Patience, and respect goes a long way in this in this uh in this life. And as a matter of fact, I think the post I made a few weeks ago will caught your attention when I said poly open relationship, yay or nay, and everybody was
Yeah, that's
saying,
what caught me. That's exactly
no,
what caught me.
no, no. And some people were saying, man, in this economy, yay. And I've explained this to people before. Three incomes in one household. Think about that. Whether somebody's a CNA pulling in 60K a year. You got somebody is a foreman, he pulling in 75K a year. Then you got that school teacher that veterinarian that's making that good 85K a year. Put that all together in one household and think about
Right.
it.
That's
Just
a
really
great.
think about it.
Yeah, that's a
That's
great
paying off
wealth
a
pool.
house in some houses in 2 years.
Right. That's almost 200 grand a year.
That's yeah, you can buy a house every 3 years, to be honest with you, if you do it right.
Yeah, and if you all working in one accord and then have a good structure on understanding with one mind,
Of course.
anything can happen. Right. And it's just the only reason it doesn't, like, a lot of people conflict with that because people don't think of the abundance nature. They think of lack, I'm not the guru, but I observed this that people
Hmm.
see a lot of lack in things and not the abundant way of things. Like there's plentiful. So people think that there's limited. So when you think there's limited, you hold on to things like there's scarcity.
No, man. Um, in this business, you can't. I don't want to say not business. In this lifestyle, you can't be afraid to lose or
Right.
be open. And a lot of fellas don't like to use the word have a sense of vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
Because you gotta think of the bigger picture, the abundance picture, bro. Like, um, if you meet your young lady, man, and she willing to meet you halfway and is open with you and willing to work with you, and get through this journey we call life, or just through like a good time. Why are you worried about? She can't be with no other dude but me, bro? What? What? Like, is that all you're worried about? Like for real, for real.
Yeah.
I I have been in rooms with I'm with a lady and like immediately her boyfriend or her husband would come to me and come and ask, "Hey, did you guys have a good time?" Or could be standing right there. You know that
Right.
that openness and that comfortability is a word is something very rare. That's why in this lifestyle, man, like I said, you meet different people from different walks of life who made this journey and say, "This is who I am. This is what I'm comfortable with, or this is what makes me happy."
But this is a very deep. I like the way you're explaining this. This is very good and very intricate. Now, what kind of lifestyle scenes and clubs do they kind of have over there for people who would like to travel in Texas or in Houston specifically? Because Texas is very broad and it could be its own country. So,
It
for
could be.
people who want to particularly go to Houston, what are some good locations that they probably could try out?
There's plenty of lifestyle clubs in Houston. I just went to one myself for the first time about a month and a half ago. The Pendulum Club here in Houston. They call it TPC. I've heard places like, Mozzarellas, that you can go into. There's also, if you looking to just get into communities and go to like house parties, man, like it was back in the day, or like it will you like
Yeah,
a house party back in the day. Those
right.
type of events when you start networking with people and you get more of an intimate vibe versus going to a club.
Right. Yeah, that's what we focus on when we host some of our events. We host like four to the most. We probably do like one each season.
Hmm.
And we make sure they're very inclusive. So it's like full catering and stuff to everybody. So
Yeah.
everybody can feel comfortable. They can just bring themselves. They ain't gotta bring nothing. Just bring your condoms and your bottle. You know?
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that, man, because a guy, he and I were talking, and I wanted to do an event on Friday, October 30th. I'm looking at houses right now. I don't want to try to compete with Halloween on the Saturday night. I know people probably already have plans, that night. So this Friday,
Right.
I'm, doing like a one night event, Halloween type thing. Everybody come, have fun, go home.
Yeah. It's gonna work out great for you. You're gonna do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna do it
So
and it's gonna work out great for you. You just have to let people know and then shoot me something. I'll let people know as well. I'll promote it on our profile because
yeah,
it's people that follow us not just in Florida, they follow us all around the world because it's for the lifestyle community. Even though our focus is Florida, but I'm here to just help everybody who I'm here to add to the pot of help with the lifestyle
of
shit.
course. Yeah, 100%. And I've frequented Florida quite a few times. I was supposed to be there 2 weeks ago, but I couldn't make it. Um, I've been to Florida quite a few times. I know people who are LS in Florida. So
Right.
yes, sir, most definitely.
That's awesome. So when you come down, man, definitely check us out. You know what I'm saying? And give us a ring. You on SDC or anything like that?
I have not, and that's the thing
Okay.
about it. I was just saying a while back. I was like, maybe I should finally make a profile.
Yeah, you should. And if you guys like to connect with people in SDC, you could drop the link in the bio right there. And then I'm gonna put his information in the profile. So when he get his SDC profile, you guys can follow him and link up with him. because Jess is a great dude. I could see by his mannerism, and I love the way that you explain the lifestyle. And also, you say you do content as well, right?
Correct.
So his content, where you can find his content, is going to be everything in the link and the bio, because we got to support our lifestylers, man. Everybody
Yeah.
show each other love because we all got good content out here.
Yeah. And I want to let people know that there's a difference between content and lifestyle, two
Mm,
separate entities. I'll if anybody ever wants to reach out, I can explain that as well. Also, you
right.
made mention about dropping links, man. I'm going to start doing interviews again on my YouTube channel. I've been slacking for quite a while, but I saw some new equipment that I like, so I'm gonna start doing that again, uh,
Okay.
recording and interviewing people. But
Yeah.
definitely, like, man, the lifestyle is a motley crew of characters. You'll meet everybody from the janitor to surgeons. Trust me, I've seen it.
So do you think with the content and when you brought up an interesting thing with the separation between the content and the lifestyle, do you think that the lifestyle has kind of became more content based?
It's good money in it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because sometimes people like to see something real, like to see something real. They don't like
Right,
the storyline. They want to see sometimes real people living out their real lives. Um, so that's why you see plenty of people who are LS do content, and then you got some people who are LS don't venture off of the content. Um,
right.
you know, people have always been voyeuristic. They like to watch, even if
Hmm.
it's this type of stuff, or you see a damn car crash, it's bad, but you try to pass it by, but you take a peek to see, the damage.
Yeah,
Uh, that's just my take on it. I could be wrong. Somebody may have an objection. Um,
right. I
however,
think I like it because it shows, like, even when people be posting on the social medias about their little lifestyle skits, I
mhm,
like it because it brings awareness to the community.
of
You
course,
you know, because I discussed in one interview, and my wife, we was talking to my wife one time, and I was like, yeah, like we gotta do it like the LGBT. We gonna make our way to be presented like that so it's acceptable. And she was like, they fought for that, and I was like, you're right, they did fight for that. Like they kept pushing the freedom of their expression, and I like how people are on the internet, putting the little skits up is showing this because it shows people from different perspectives, just like how everybody's doing the different interviews. Like, how are you on here doing the interview? It shows the different perspectives and gives people a better understanding than the stigma and the stereotype that we may have. And because when I started off in this in 2012 with my wife, man, I we was in Bang Bros and all this stuff. We was started off in content, right? And that was when being a couple was taboo in the lifestyle. That's a whole nother discussion. I don't like to go too much into that because that's a whole nother world I was in, but that's like when I first started swinging. And I was like, I was trying to get into that at the same time to start adult production and just because I like adult media. And we jumped in, and then for people to know that we were swingers and stuff, it was like real taboo. So I'm glad that it's very now accepted amongst the community and shit.
well, shit.
So
I
it's
mean,
real good.
I
You
don't
know
see
what
the
I'm
problem.
saying?
I don't see the problem in people working together and as a couple. Man, what's the problem? You
Yeah, I don't know what
you
was the
you
problem. Back in the day, I guess it was not good for the industry. They used to say that it wasn't good for the female sales. They let
Man,
them know that they
that's
was in a relationship.
that's a
But
line they use to here's where I'm gonna get in
get,
trouble.
yeah, you already know. Yeah,
Here's where
we're
I'm gonna
gonna.
get here's where I'm gonna get
That's
in
a
trouble.
yeah. That's what I say. Yeah, that's a whole nother.
That's just
Yeah,
the line
I
they
dealt with
use.
it. I dealt with it, and that's why when I shot for Bang Bros one time, a guy by the name of Geo, shout out to Geo, man. You changed my life forever, man. Because we
I
was
know you're talking
shooting.
about ball guy.
No, he had I don't know. He was heavy set. He had longer hair. He was heavy set, man. His name was Geo, and he was shooting the camera, right? He was shooting the videos for us during Bang Bros with one of the scenes. And we got done, and he was like, that's when clips for sale was like the thing. You know what I'm saying? That was the
Yeah.
like really the only, you're old school like me. So that's like only the one that was like really the independent platform for content creators at the time. And he was like, man, you could go on clips for sale. You could just sell clips yourself. You ain't got to be doing this. They only paying you one time. You get paid forever.
Yeah, and that's
And
another
you create it
conversation.
however you want. He's like,
Yeah,
y'all a couple. He was like, y'all could do couple clips. You ain't got to worry about faking like y'all don't know each other like y'all doing in this video. And I was like, yo,
exactly.
you right, dude.
And, and that's another conversation you and I can have in another interview because people don't know. Like, look, doing this, they're gonna give you, pay you one time, and they're gonna make hundreds of thousands off the each time somebody click on this Joker, off of your one time getting paid. Now,
Right.
Gio, is he out of Florida?
Um, yeah.
I know you're
But
talking about.
this guy was like, he was an older guy. It was back in 2012, so it was a long ass time ago. And he's like a heavy set guy. He had longer hair, kind of like looked like he'll be into the BDSM lifestyle. But yeah, he was a great guy. And he was an independent producer, and they just hired him on as a camera guy. And he gave us the game, and it was like, I was in the music stuff, and I was in the other lifestyle. We gonna
Right.
that us all brothers, some of us brothers venture off into. So I understood the hustle, and he gave me the knowledge, and I understood the thing of hustle,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, that's what happened, man. So I'm glad that it's like that now. And before I head off, I want to ask one more question.
Yes, sir.
When you hear the term Florida lifestyler, what comes to your mind?
Freedom. Freedom. Because it seems that the lifestyle is very open in Florida. Is I see that more in Florida than I do anywhere else. I'm starting to see it more in Texas because obviously I'm living here. But and also the lifestyles that I met in Florida are some of the nicest people you've ever met before in your life, and seem
Right.
to be enjoying life. So yeah,
Yeah, that's a great explanation. I thank you so much, just for
yes, sir.
coming on the show, joining us, dropping your jewels. You guys be sure to follow him in the link in the bio. And if you want to talk to him about more, reach out to him. You go to Texas and go to Houston, Texas, and you need somebody to link up with, everybody to bring that comfort level in and show you around the city, get you in the groove of lifestyle things. I know you lifestylers love to travel. Hit him up. He's a good dude. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us, man. And we are Florida, and this is our lifestyle. God
Yes,
bless.
sir.
Thank you. Have a great night, Just.
You too, brother.
See ya.